Hey there, folks. How you doing today? Welcome back to the channel, and please bear with any background racket that you might hear throughout today's production. We are on location where life happens. There's stuff going on right out there that can be heard in here. Let's not let it stand in the way of the fun that we have in store for you. Think back to grade school. What was your favorite part? Don't say recess. One of my favorite things to do back when I was a youngster in school was show and tell. And that's what we're going to be doing here today. A friend of mine, my buddy Mike, is an EDC aficionado. He has all kinds of cool gadgets and gear that he carries around on a daily basis to help him get through day to day. That's what we're going to be talking about right here. I'll bring the camera in here in just a second so that you can get an up close and better look at what we have. But for starters, I'll give you a generalization of what's going on. At outward appearances, this just kind of looks like a little Molly IFAC case. And if you don't know what an IFAC is, that's an individual first aid kit. Typically, these carry stop the bleed trauma gear. This particular one appears to have been gutted out for a new role in life. And now I'll bring the camera in so you can see what's going on inside of it. All right, as I mentioned before, this is a Molly based system here. You can see how you could use those straps there. If you're not familiar with the Molly system, you see them on backpacks and load carrying equipment, and even some like fancy truck seat covers and stuff. They have these little loops, and you use these straps to secure your items to it. This is relatively heavy. I don't have a weight on it right now. I've got a scale in the house. I'll toss it on the scale and I'll get you a weight, and I'll put it here on the video so you can see it. But just know that I don't know as I would want to carry this around on my person all day, maybe in a backpack if I got to sit it down at work or whatever, but it would certainly be applicable for a desk drawer or for the center console of your vehicle or something like that. Let's get inside it and see what's in there. Opening the little front compartment, you'll see here that we have an all-weather Write in the Rain notebook. That's the kind that like a law enforcement officer would use if he's out writing notes and he's standing in the rain or something like that. As well as he's got a little all-weather pin here. Now, this particular gentleman has tons and tons of cool pins. This one here looks to be pretty neat. It's very heavy and robust. I don't know anything about the model of it. Maybe some of you do, and you could put it there in the description. Just know you wouldn't have to have a pin like that, but it's nice that he included that little short pin in the case. Go ahead and open up the main compartment here. And you'll see inside the front cover, we have several zip ties, a Leatherman tool, and a Bic lighter. Just make sure his Bic lighter works. Oh, look at that. It sure does. I was going to replace it with a different one if it didn't. All right. Should have known it would. Here we have what appears to be like a plain Jane little pin light. LED. You see there, it puts out a reasonable amount of light. The really nice thing about this one, and I'll point it out to you, is the way it's oriented right now is the clip has the switch facing up, which is for if you were going to clip it in your shirt pocket or something like that, would be sufficient for most applications. I can tell you because of the design of the barrel here, I'm not going to do it because it's not mine and I don't want to mess it up. But you can actually pop this clip off, turn it around and put it on backwards. And then this light can be affixed to the brim of a ball cap if you needed to clip it to your head while you were working on something on your car in the dark or something like that. We actually just did something very similar on a trip back from New Mexico recently. I had a flat in the dark, and thankfully I had a flashlight in the door of the truck. So always carry a flashlight. It's nice that this kit includes one. Here's a little Craftsman razor knife. Looks like maybe he's used it for something in the past, but the blade still looks to be in relatively good repair. Down here we have a little bendy ratchet. You push that button and you can adjust the head on it to get into nooks and crannies, as well as an extension for that. Now this is the kind of ratchet that you would use for the little 1/4-inch hex tools that like drill bits and stuff like that. Let's see if I can figure out how to get this on there. Maybe if I put it from the right side, we'd be in business. There you go. So you can see how that would work. And here's the adjustment to change the direction of the ratchet. Really kind of neat that he has that in there. Here is a pair of Knipex brand channel locks, little tiny ones. Now, if you're not familiar with Knipex, it's a German brand. They're very good stuff. These appear to be of good quality, and you're not going to do any real high torque jobs with these, but you'd be surprised at what you could accomplish, as far as like opening them up to change a car battery or something like that. They'd work pretty good. It's not a piece of dollar store junk, and it's not going to break on you the first time you try to use it. He doubled down on the Nipex, and here he's got another little pair with a sliding jaw. This has got a very narrow jaw, depending on what kind of application you're using. Think of this as kind of like a crescent wrench, but with a channel lock handle. That's really kind of cool. All right, down here in the bottom, he's got a little tiny stubby ratchet. This is for if you need to get down into an area that you can barely get your hand into or something, you can put your bit in there. And here we have a Wera brand 14 millimeter socket. And if you're wondering why that's in there, well, it's because the rest of the kit is back here behind this partition in the case. Now, if you look here on the side, you'll see it's got this thing that slides up and holds your tool in place, but taking it out of there, it wants to slide down. So just be mindful that your tiny little ratchet will fall out of there. Now, it is a little redundant that there's two of these in there. However, this one doesn't feature the adjustable head that the other one has. And sometimes redundancy is a good thing, especially if you're working with multiple bits at the same time. This comes with a little bit driver handle, as well as a set of metric sockets there. You've got a 5.5 through 14. Here's the 14 that goes with that, as well as numerous screwdriver bits, including Torx bits. I don't see any X keys in there, just Torx bits, Phillips screwdrivers, and a couple of flat tips as well. Well, that appears to be everything that's in here, so I'm going to go ahead and put it back together now. We got this put back together, and I'm fixing to take it back to him, but I wanted to give you my final thoughts on this little case. Now, there is nothing worse than needing a tool for something and not having a tool around. And well, you're certainly not going to be rebuilding a transmission with this thing. If you need to change a car battery, or you have a headlight goes out and you need tools to swap it out because you're out on the road or something like that, it is very nice to have a little toolkit with you while you're trying to do something like that. Now, I drive a big old pickup truck. It's got a toolbox on the back. I normally have a handful of tools in the back of it, but if you are a commuter, if you riding some kind of cycle, or you're commuting on public transportation or something like that, and you wanted to have some tools with you, this would be a really nice and convenient way to carry those around. As I mentioned earlier, in a desk drawer into your office at work or something like that. Having this around, in my opinion, is just as important as having like a first aid kit. So anyway, I asked Mike where he got the stuff that went in here, and he said for the most part just on Amazon. I'm sure you could probably find similar stuff at Harbor Freight or Northern Tool or something like that. But I'd like to know your thoughts on a neat little everyday carry toolkit, something like this. Do you have something like this? Have you thought about setting something like this up? Let me know in the comment section down below. Also, real quick, if you didn't see our video that just dropped on this thing, this Tipton Best gun vise, I'll put a link to it down in the description down there. And a big shout out, thanks to Otis Cleaning Kits for sending us some stuff that helps us to do what we do here on this channel. Until next time, folks, take care and God bless.